Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Abraham with Your Voice TV. Today we'd like to welcome His Grace Bishop Serapion to our show. Thank you, Sayedna, for being with us today. I know last time we spoke with Your Grace was before you left to Egypt, and it was before Easter. I know you left to Egypt on Easter, and so you're back now, so we'd love to just get an update on the papal election process and what's been going on since you came back.
Yeah, when we went, firstly was our celebration for the 40-day commemoration of His Holiness, when we have on Tuesday evening, people came, dignitaries, and there was many speeches about His Holiness, and then we have the liturgy on Wednesday and on Thursday, one in the cathedral, and it's Wednesday, and at Amba Bishoy Monastery on Thursday, where His Holiness was buried there.
That was like a more private with this, right?
On the monastery, it was only for clergy.
For clergy, okay.
Clergy and also monks, nuns, so on.
That's nice.
Regarding the election process, there are two committees now in meetings, plus the Holy Synod meetings. The one for the recording the voters, and the one for the nomination committee. The nomination committee we just opened after we finished the celebration of the 40-day commemoration. So on Friday, it was open people to come who want to nominate someone to bring the documents, and we will continue, the secretary of the committee will continue to receive this nomination until the 17th of May.
Okay.
So this is the process which
what we're doing right now.
Regarding the recording, registering the voters, there is a delay in the work of this committee, and that's why the process will be delayed at least for 2 months, because they asked for extension.
Oh, they did.
They're supposed to finish by the 17th of May.
Okay.
But they asked for extension till July to be able to register the voters. There are some issues which need to be solved. That's why we needed the meeting of the Holy Synod, especially regarding the churches in America and Europe, land of immigration.
Okay.
Because the areas here, some churches under dioceses, like Los Angeles area and Hawaii, which is an easy thing. It will be dealt like the churches in Egypt in the diocese. There are churches not under diocese, but the region is supervised by general bishops, like Bishop Michael in the area of Virginia, or in Europe, Bishop Damian in Germany. And we agreed that this area is to be dealt with as a diocese for the purpose of the process of Pope election.
Okay.
Remember the other areas, which is neither dioceses, neither under general bishops. So the proposal is to consider them in America, the Archdiocese of North America, to be dealt like Cairo. Cairo, which is the diocese of the Pope. So it's asked to bring 72 from lay people and 24 priests. And Europe, because Europe is smaller, it will be considered like Alexandria.
Oh, interesting.
The parts which are not dioceses and the parts which are not under general bishops.
Okay.
Then the other issues with people who are outside, whether they have to come in the day of election in person, as the other way for that.
Okay.
So it was a proposal to vote online.
Oh.
But unfortunately, this proposal was rejected. So the other proposal was that is those who cannot come, they will deal them in the bylaws like the Ethiopians. For the Ethiopians, the bylaws gives them the option either to come in person or to delegate someone.
Oh, okay.
So most probably for those in America or in Europe who cannot travel on the day of election to go there, they will delegate it to someone.
Does it need to be another bishop or that's delegated to in Egypt, or just anybody?
No, suppose here, مثلا in Los Angeles,
Okay.
there are 12 lay persons to go.
Right.
Maybe they cannot go.
Right.
So they may delegate the bishop to carry their ballot. Yani they
Right.
will vote here, put an envelope,
Okay.
and they delegate the bishop
it.
or one of them who will travel
Right.
to take it there
There.
for the day of election.
Okay.
So you have to do it before the day of
But
election.
they can still participate and vote.
So they can participate
Right.
even they are here.
Right. That's
So
good.
we remain for the official approval of this proposal.
Okay. So that's
Another issue, to make things more complicated for you,
sure. Why not?
one of the requirements for voters to be Egyptian, of Egyptian nationality.
Okay.
So there was a question how to prove this
Right.
Egyptian nationality. First, they asked for a passport which
Okay.
is not expired, or the national ID,
Okay.
or the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Because we find that people who do not have passport, neither national ID.
Okay.
So we agreed to bring the birth certificate and also to accept Egyptian passport even if it is expired, because it's just to prove the national. Do you need more complication?
No, no. Thank you so much. Unless you want to add more, go ahead. There's more?
Yeah, because we had a meeting for the bishops from outside Egypt to discuss the issues, because I represent them in the nomination committee.
Okay.
So we have His Grace Bishop Athanasius. He's a bishop of the French Orthodox Church. This French Orthodox Church, all the members are non-Egyptians. So that's what is where we are, because it should be Egyptians.
Yeah.
The same also the British Orthodox. So we propose that is to deal with them as to deal with the Ethiopian,
Okay.
when it was a pact, because there is a special protocol between the Coptic Church and these two churches to consider them as a diocesan within the Coptic Orthodox Church. So maybe they be allowed to participate even if they are not Egyptian, because of this protocol which state that they are part of the Coptic Orthodox Church.
So this is something that they're still going to discuss and consider during this 2-month extension. That's one of the
They're
issues.
supposed to come with a decision
Okay.
soon,
Okay.
so they
can
can
start.
register or not register before the 2 months
It's
expire.
over, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything needs to start moving along. So, well, I read today in the Haram newspaper, actually, that the nominating committee is basically giving a score for each candidate, on, like based on a point system. And the certain things that they're looking for are like the age of the candidate and the spoken language, if they speak other languages other than Arabic, if they've had any publications, their spirituality, and even their relationship with other people in the government based on a point system. Can you kind of explain that
Yeah.
a little bit?
Because the nomination committee is not just to follow the process that is the candidate, all papers are okay, but there is the authority of this nomination committee to, at the end, after receiving all the candidates' papers, and after clear them from any objections, but they have to bring the number down to between 5 to 7.
Okay.
So always the question come, in which basis we will do this?
Right.
And suppose we have at the end 15 candidates after all the kind of screening and this is, all of them, they are okay.
Right. Now what?
But how to bring this to from 5 to 7? Doesn't we can to put some criteria to choose between them, to have a scoring systems, the age, the language, the publications, the relationship between if a bishop, what is his relationship with his people, what's the relation with the Holy Synod, if a monk, what is the relationship in his monastery. That's why among the requirements to be presented for any candidate, there are 3 forms. One form, the first one is just 1 page when those who nominate him, the 6 bishops or the 12 from the Majlis al-Milli, they write, we nominate this person to be the patriarch.
Okay.
The second form is to give general information about the persons, 1 page. The third form, this is important, it's like a booklet to give us a detailed information about this person, his family, what is his job before being a monk, his life as a monk, after that, all the service, even about his health.
Yeah, it's a pure background, 100%.
So this will help us to do this final process, because the nomination committee to bring the final list, which means this final list, nobody can challenge the list. This is the final list.
Okay, so that's your concrete.
That is why we try to be fair, and the choice not to based on a personal preference, but to have some guidelines to guide the committee to come with a fair decision.
I mean, just out of curiosity, when you say age, like, do you get more points for being older, or do you mean age by being in the, like, having a longer as a monk or as a clergy member?
It's a good question, because very old age, of course, is one in mid-70.
I know.
Is not the one who is in 60. But also it's different the one who is just 40.
That's true.
So that is the judgment of the one. Of course, we don't need too young.
Okay.
It's too old.
Okay.
And so that is the age. Yeah, they say the proper age is around 60. Something like this.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. And so, in general, this expected time frame for the coming steps, so we're delayed now until July. And then when July comes along and we start the election process.
Yeah, it's not the election to be in July, because July, this is a delay in July. That is a registration of the voters process to finish its first phase.
Oh, wow.
And then this list of the voters have to be presented publicly and be challenged. And then another committee to examine all the challenges and come with the final list. When the final list is finished, which we expect it to be in August, this is supposed to be in June. Because the nomination committee will bring the first list of the candidate to be challenged by the voters. So it should be the final list of the voters finished by the time we prepare this list. We can prepare this list earlier than that, because we will close the acceptance of nomination by the 17th of May.
Okay.
We may need 1 month, so we can finish
by June.
But if we publish the list without the voters' registration finished, then nobody can challenge it, because the requirement is to be among the voters. So we will wait until they finish.
I see.
Then suppose they finish in August, finally, the final process. Then we will give the list.
Okay.
We will receive the challenges or criticism. Then it depends on how many.
How many challenges? Okay.
How they are reliable.
Okay.
So we have to examine all of this. The bylaws give 1 month for that. But it could take 1 month. It could take 1 week if we just receive 1 of 2 challenges.
I see.
It could take 1 year.
Oh, geez. So we're really not sure until
And after we finish the challenges, then we start the process. Suppose we finish the challenges and then the number remain 10. Then we have to start the process to bring the 10 to 5 or 7.
Wow.
So we will know, after we come to the final list, then we become more definite, because according to the bylaws, the final list means 1 month the election should be 1 month after. And the altar lot to be next Sunday.
Sunday, right.
So we can say exactly when we will know who is the new pope, when we're ready to have the final list.
Okay, so those three.
But so far, we don't expect that we will reach this earlier than November.
We're just going to have to keep bringing you on the show more often so you can give us all the updates as we go, which is great for us. So, I know the clergy meeting, we just had a clergy meeting. I know normally the clergy meeting meets once a month, but this past time they've met Thursday and Tuesday in the past week, 2 times. Do you know why, Sayedna, the frequent clergy meetings?
Because we dedicated this meeting, our monthly meeting for May. It was in Thursday.
Okay.
And we dedicated the whole meeting to discuss one issue regarding the process of the Pope election. And after I updated the clergy about what's going on, then one of the issues, which is a canonical one, is about the diocesan, metropolitan, and bishop, was according to the canon, not according to the bylaws, to be elected or not. So we have we provided them with many resources about this.
Okay.
And we have a big discussion about all the canons.
And what is the canons state?
Which we mentioned last time about the Nicaea Canon 15, the Apostolic Canon of the 14, and then the canon of the Council of Antioch, Council of Serdicia in the 4th century, and then in the 8th century the canon of Patriarchal, and then the decision of the Holy Synod of the Coptic Orthodox Church in 1873, and all these canons speaking about it is not permitted that is a diocesan bishop to be a patriarch, except Canon 14, which gives exception under 4 conditions. The 4 conditions, that is, there is a need for that, and also it's not coming from the metropolitan or bishop himself. It should be consulted by many bishops, and it should be decided after earnest exhortations. And then we go to the history of the church. The history of the church, how the church kept, we have 117 patriarchs since St. Mark till His Holiness Pope Shenouda III. Among these 117 patriarchs, we have all the kind of backgrounds, from monks, lay people, married, non-married, scholars, farmers, and all the kind of background, but only 3 who were diocesan bishops.
Oh, that's interesting.
And only the 3 is happened in the 20th centuries, from the year 1928 till the 1957. So in a time which less than 30 years. So the question, which means that is our Coptic Church kept
that canon.
The canons, or understood the canons and practiced the canon, was not allowing to elect the Bishop of Alexander, who was a patriarch, from among diocesan bishops. And they accept to elect a Syrian monk or is a Syrian businessman, like Abraham ibn Zara, and not to elect a diocesan bishop. So the question is, why? Which means there is something deep in the church. And when we changed this, it was not just a good or successful experience, which people in their mind, that's people, they ask why this. So we said that is this issue, so should we speak about it, the priests have to know the canons in details, so when the congregation asks them, they have to answer. So after we have this long meetings, which we finish after 5 o'clock, and I asked the priest, what's the next step? Whether you need more time to examine? They say, no, now we know the conclusion.
Okay.
Do you need that just to keep this information, or we make a statement? So they said, no, we don't. We want to make a statement about it, and to be clear statement, to be shared with our congregation.
Has the statement been made yet, or not yet?
Yeah, that's why we said, okay, we formed a drafting committee,
Okay.
and I told them to come on Tuesday. That we have the meeting
That's
on
why.
Tuesday.
We got 2
When we
minutes.
have the meeting to discuss the statement,
Okay.
make any modifications, and to sign it. Now in the process on finishing the signatures, because not every priest could come on Tuesday, some of them for some reasons. And after that, we have it in English and Arabic. Then we will share it with our people after signed by the priest who wish to sign.
Okay. So they don't have to. It's up to them. It's
Yeah,
up
if they
to
are
sign.
convinced of that,
Right.
they have to sign.
They sign.
If they don't convince it, we don't force them.
Right. Okay. And this is just in the LA Diocese?
Yeah, it is a statement of the clergy of the diocese.
The diocese.
I will sign it, of
Okay.
course, and the priest.
And the priest will sign it. Okay, well, thank you, Sayidna, for the update. We love having you, and God willing, we'll talk to you next time. Are you going to Egypt again?
Yes, on Monday.
On Monday. Okay, well, have a safe trip.
Thank you.
Inshallah, we'll speak to you when you come back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sayidna. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And you can watch all of our clips on our website, www.yourvoicetvshow.com. Thanks again. Take care.